Hello and welcome to our today's revision session. We are going to answer question number 6 that was tested in December 2021. Question 6A reads, evaluate the impact of the internet on the following competitive forces. Roman 1, threat of new entrants. Roman 2, suppliers bargaining power. Roman 3, customers bargaining power. Roman 4, substitute products or services. Impact of the following competitive forces. Impact of the following competitive forces. The first competitive force is threat of new entrants. Threat of new entrants. Threat of new entrants. Now, when businesses in an industry where we have, say, 100 competitors or 2 competitors, there is always threat of a new entrant into that industry. So the internet has significantly lowered the barriers to entry for many industries. That is one impact. The internet has significantly lowered barriers to entry for many industries. Lowering of barriers to entry in an industry has been made possible courtesy of the internet, because it has provided a platform for new businesses to easily establish an online presence. The internet has made it possible for new businesses to reach a global audience and compete with established players. So the availability of e-commerce platforms, digital marketing tools, and online accessibility, and even the ease of entry have intensified competition and raised the threat of new entrants in many industries. It has raised the threat. So the threat of new entrants has been raised. Raising of threat of new entrants. So the internet has raised the threat, because we are evaluating the impact of the internet on the following competitive forces. The internet, the impact of the internet. So the internet, number one, I've said, has lowered barriers to entry, and I've explained how that lowering has taken place. Lowering of barriers to entry. The existing companies may put in place barriers so that new entrants cannot get into the industry. But the internet has made it possible to lower such barriers, because the internet provides a platform for new businesses to easily establish an online presence, which may have a global audience or reach. Do you understand? So that's the impact of the internet on threat of new entrants. The second competitive force is suppliers bargaining power. Suppliers bargaining power. Suppliers bargaining power. The internet has established suppliers to reach a wider customer base and sell their products and services directly online. And that increases the reach and assessing, or what we call accessibility. I'll first of all say that the internet has enabled suppliers to reach a wider customer base and sell their products or services directly online. And this increased reach and accessibility have given suppliers more options and opportunities to connect with potential buyers, reducing their dependence on traditional distribution channels. As a result, candidates, suppliers' bargaining power may have been strengthened as they can bypass intermediaries and also negotiate directly with customers or establish their own online platforms. Do you understand? The bargaining power of suppliers is a competitive force. So through the internet, suppliers have more options and opportunities. Suppliers have more options and opportunities through the internet. Suppliers now can bypass traditional intermediaries. Suppliers can reach the customers directly because of the internet. That means that the supplier's bargaining power has been strengthened. Suppliers' bargaining power has been strengthened because of the internet. They can directly reach the customer base, increase their customer base. All right? They can negotiate directly with customers. They can establish online platforms. Establishment of online platforms. These online platforms enable suppliers to reach the customers directly, and they help suppliers to avoid going through the traditional intermediaries or brokers. Then another competitive force is customers' bargaining power. Customers' bargaining power. Customers' bargaining power. Now, the internet has empowered customers with greater access to information and a wide range of choices. Customers have wide range of choices. Wide range of choices because customers can access many suppliers online through the internet. Customers now, because of the internet, have wide range of choices. Customers now have great access to information, and customers can compare prices. Can compare prices. It's very easy for customers today, courtesy of the internet, to compare prices, to read reviews, to even do some research on products or services before making purchase decisions. And that transparency and ease of information have increased customers' bargaining power. Transparency has increased because customers have access to a lot of information about suppliers. So that transparency has increased customers' bargaining power. It has increased customers' bargaining power. They can compare prices. Customers can negotiate because they have many options before making purchase decisions. And I've said it has increased their bargaining power as they can easily switch between different sellers or brands. And they do the switching based on many factors such as the price, the quality, customer reviews, and so on. Additionally, candidates, the rise of e-commerce has intensified price competition, providing customers with more opportunities to find better deals. That is customers' bargaining power. Then moving on to another competitive force known as substitute products or services. Substitute products or services. Number 4, substitute products or services. Substitute products or services. Candidates, we are evaluating the impact of the internet on competitive forces. The last competitive force here is the substitute products or services. The internet has expanded the availability and accessibility of substitute products. The internet has expanded accessibility of substitute products or services, and it has also facilitated the emergence of new business models and digital offerings that can potentially replace traditional products or services. For example, streaming services have disrupted the traditional television and even the movie rental industry. We've also had platforms like the online communication platforms that have affected traditional television services. We've also seen e-learning platforms like manifesto publishers that has affected the traditional physical colleges. So the internet has provided a platform for innovative substitutes. There is platform, it has made possible to have platform for innovative. All right? Innovative ways of doing business, innovative ways of delivering services, and so on. It has provided a platform for innovative substitutes to emerge and challenge the established offerings, increasing the threat of substitution in many industries. It has done what? It has increased the threat of substitution. Substitute products, innovative substitutes. That's the impact of the internet on substitute products or services. There is increased rate of substitute products. When you are operating in an industry, there is always a threat of substitute products. That is a competitive force, substitute products. So the internet has provided a platform for innovative substitutes to emerge and challenge the existing products or the traditional products. So all in all, candidates, the internet has had profound impact on the competitive forces by lowering barriers to entry, as you've seen here, lowering of barriers to entry, by altering suppliers and customers' bargaining power. The suppliers and customers' bargaining power has been altered. The bargaining power of suppliers and the bargaining power of customers has also been altered. You understand? And it has been altered because of the internet. Do you understand? It has transformed many industries and intensified competition. The internet has intensified competition, requiring companies to adapt and innovate to remain competitive. Unless a company innovates and remains competitive in the digital age, then it cannot cope up with competitive forces, because the internet has intensified competition because of a lowering threat of barriers to entry, raising threat of new entrants. We've seen suppliers have more options and opportunities through the internet. We also discussed how suppliers can bypass the traditional intermediaries. Suppliers today have more bargaining power. The bargaining power of suppliers has been strengthened. Suppliers are able now to establish online presence and platforms. Customers today have a wider range of choices. They can compare prices online, quality. They can have reviews before purchasing any product. There is increased access to information, which has led to transparency that has increased customers' bargaining power. We also discussed the competitive force in relation to substitutes. Internet has expanded accessibility of substitute products. The internet has made it possible to have platforms for innovative substitutes. There has also been increased rate of substitute products. So these are the impacts of the internet on threat of new entrants, suppliers, bargaining power, customers, bargaining power, and substitute products or services. The total 8 marks. Part B, outline 8 activities carried out during system analysis. Outline 8 activities. Activities, that is B. Activities carried out during systems analysis. Systems analysis activities. What are the activities that are carried out during system analysis? The first one is gathering requirements. Gathering requirements. Number one, gathering requirements. The system analyst interacts with the stakeholders to understand their needs and gather requirements for the new system. And that involves conducting interviews, conducting workshops, and surveys to elicit information and documents, and also to put down the functional and non-functional requirements. Gathering requirements, that's the first activity in system analysis. Then another activity could be just analyzing the current systems. Analyzing the current system. Analyzing current system. Analyzing the current system. Before there is any system development, then the existing system has to be analyzed. The existing system and processes should be thoroughly analyzed to identify inefficiencies, if there are any bottlenecks or areas for improvement. And that involves studying the flow of information, what we call data structures, checking the business rules, looking at user interactions in order to gain comprehensive understanding of the current system. 3, defining system objectives. This is another activity, defining system objectives. Now, the systems analyst works with stakeholders to define objectives, to define the goals of the new system, and that includes determining the scope of the system, identifying key functionalities, and setting measurable targets that the new system should achieve. That is the third activity. Activity number 4 is modeling system processes. Modeling system processes. Modeling system processes. There are process modeling techniques such as the data flow diagrams. The analysts can also use case diagrams that are used to represent the flow of data and activities within the system, and that modeling helps visualize the system's behavior. It can also help identify inputs, identify outputs, and capture the relationship between various system components. Conducting feasibility study. Conducting feasibility study is another system analysis activity. Feasibility studies, candidates are conducted to evaluate the technical, the operational, and the economic viability of the proposed system. And that involves assessing factors such as resource availability, cost-benefit analysis, and also potential risks, and then aligning of the system with organizational goals. Conducting feasibility study. 6, developing Number 6 is to develop the specifications. Developing system specifications. What are the specifications of the new system? So there ought to be a detailed specifications that are created to document the requirements, the constraints, the decision the design decisions for the new system, and that includes preparing the functional and also the technical specifications. It may include preparing data models, the system flowcharts, and even the user interface designs. Developing system specifications. Then another activity is in relation to coming up with alternative solutions and evaluating the alternative solutions. Evaluating alternative solutions is yet another activity. The system analyst identifies and evaluates different options for system development, such as build versus buy decisions, selecting appropriate technology platforms. They could also be assessing the feasibility of outsourcing or even the off-the-shelf solutions. And it may also involve conducting vendor evaluations. Conducting vendor evaluations could involve comparing costs and even considering the long-term maintenance and support. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then number 8, collaborating with stakeholders. Collaborating with stakeholders. Seeking stakeholder engagement. Candidates, throughout the systems analyst process, the system analyst works closely with the stakeholders. Including the end users, the managers, the IT personnel, and so on. And this collaboration includes conducting regular meetings, presentations, and reviews to ensure that the proposed system meets the needs and the expectations of all parties involved. So candidates, these activities, there are 8 activities that we've identified. 1, gathering requirements. 2, analyzing current system. 3, defining system objectives. 4, modeling system processes. 5, conducting feasibility studies. 6, developing system specifications. 7, evaluating alternative solutions. And 8, collaborating with stakeholders. These activities help ensure that the system analyst gathers accurate information or requirements. They help the system analyst to define clear objectives, to model system processes effectively, and also they help the analyst consider various factors that are necessary for successful system analysis and design. 8 system analysis activities, 8 marks. 8 marks. Now let us have a look at question 6C. The question reads, using an example, demonstrate how you would use a formula to link data between 2 worksheets. Now candidates will allow me to answer this question on Excel sheets. So we will move to the worksheets in Excel, and instead of just talking or explaining in verbatim on how to demonstrate how you would use a formula to link data between 2 worksheets, we are going to answer this question in Excel. But for now, thank you for choosing to study with us. We've answered December 2021 question number 6. Bye-bye.